Good morning. My name is Marti Roméro. I'm the Deputy Representative for Protection for UNHCR in Egypt. I would like to start by thanking the League of Arab States, Secretariat and Member States, and the Arab Institute for Human Rights for their efforts in organizing this important event. LAS and AIHR have been and continue to be important partners for UNHCR in the MENA region. I would also like to acknowledge my fellow speakers from LAS, AIHR, UNICEF, UN Women, IOM, and the Global Campaign for Equal Nationality Rights, which will be contributing to the workshop that will follow this launch event. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all attendees in today's important launch event for the Arab Declaration of Belonging and Legal Identity. Your attendance and interest in this topic are most appreciated, and in continued efforts of all stakeholders, including UN agencies, civil society organizations, academic research institutions, and especially member states, it is critical to making progress. It is also the support and engagement of all of you that has made the adoption and the launch of this declaration, after it was initially presented at a ministerial conference in 2018 organized by LAS with the support of UNHCR and other agencies. As you all well know, the MENA region is affected by multi-layered crises, including conflict and displacement. These crises have had significant consequences for individuals, communities, and states. One significant impact is that those affected by conflict, displacement, and other challenges are more likely not to have their births registered to lack of civil documentation. As stated in the declaration, conflict and instability threatens the right and safety of affected children and families who are increasingly suffering due to the lack of legal documents that determine their identity, nationality, and social status. A lack of legal documentation results in affected persons not being able to access critical rights and services, including education and health care, or to seek formal employment opportunities, and can lead to heightened vulnerabilities, marginalization, and statelessness. This gap also makes it more difficult for states to understand the situation and the needs of populations within its borders, for services to reach such populations, and as a result, more difficult to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. In that context, the launch of this declaration is very welcome. The declaration sets out a very strong normative framework for how these challenges can be addressed in the region in a context-specific manner. And the good news is that there is significant good practice across the MENA region to build on. For example, efforts to improve access to civil registration include birth registration through simplified procedures and modified procedures to make sure that vulnerable peoples, such as children, populations in remote areas, and refugees do not fall through the cracks. Measures taken to issue nationality documents to those entitled to it. The reform of nationality laws in 6 MENA countries to strengthen women's rights to pass their nationality to their children, and the publication by LAS of a regional toolkit on nationality legislation addressing in detail how safeguards can be entrenched in law to prevent and combat situations of statelessness. All this progress has been made possible by multi-stakeholder efforts with contributions by civil society, regional organizations, UN agencies, affected communities, and member states. Through implementation of this declaration, further progress would benefit affected individuals and the states alike. UNHCR stands ready to support the implementation of the declaration by extending its legal support to relevant government interlocutors, including ministries and policymakers, on issues related to civil documentation, nationality, and statelessness, sharing good practices from other countries that may be relevant to challenges faced by countries in the MENA region, and ensuring MENA perspective is reflected in global conversations and initiatives on related topics. Finally, I would like to again acknowledge and express UNHCR's gratitude to the League of Arab States and to the member states for their leadership on this issue, and again confirm UNHCR's ongoing support. I would end by quoting from the Declaration itself, emphasizing that all persons are equal before the law, that every human being has the right to a dignified and safe life free from violence, and that it is critical to reject all forms of discrimination that would affect a human right. Ensuring access to belonging and legal identity are imperative to achieving those aims, and the launch of this declaration is an extremely important step in that regard. Thank you.